Where are you guys right now?
Minneapolis.
Okay. Are you playing tonight?
Yep.
How long do you plan to stay out on tour?
Till the first leg of the tour goes till almost the end of July.
Are you guys going to be at each other's throats by the end of July?
We're already we're used to it. We don't have to like each other to tour.
Yeah, I did notice at Friday's show that there was a little bit of tension on stage.
Between the members?
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's no tension between us.
Oh, okay.
It's, we're always a bit pissed off at Ogre. Ogre's got his own separate world, and me and Dwayne have our own separate world, you know. In actuality, all three of us are very individual, and I think that's why we have such a diverse sound when we all get together, is that we're all just so different. So.
Yeah. How do you guys actually go about making the music?
Well, it's never the same.
Yeah.
It's always different, and it's something like an experiment that attracts us to it. It's something sort of like putting one serum together with another and seeing how it's going to turn out, but it's the whole sort of, it's just the desire to hear the outcome that really makes us continue.
Yeah.
So we have a varied bunch of approaches. We use a whole bunch of different equipment, old and new, and sync it all together or not, or, yeah, to say we do one song one particular way would be limiting ourselves in all the other ways that we do approach songs.
Yeah. You and Dwayne put out Doubting Thomas.
Correct, yeah.
How's that doing?
It's done real well. I know it's sold over 15,000 copies so far, so...
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, considering that it's not really promoted or anything, but...
Yeah. Wax Trax is pretty good about getting promotional copies out, though.
Yeah, I guess Doubting Thomas is like sort of the way Dwayne and I would be if we weren't with Ogre. We'd probably be sounding more like that. We're pretty, when it comes to music and stuff, we're pretty flexible because we sort of get an energy from whoever it is that we're working with.
Yeah.
Whether it be Al Nelson and Hilt or Edward Caspell and Legendary Pink Dots with Tear Garden or Skinny Puppy with Ogre or just Doubting Thomas with the two of us. We all seem to have some sort of different influences.
Are you guys going to be doing anything else anytime soon as Tear Garden?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we have a brand new album that just came out last week. It's called The Last Man to Fly.
Okay.
And it's available on Network Capital Canada.
Okay.
And I believe it's distributed through Important Records in the States.
Okay. I'm writing that down.
But, yeah, I'll have to look out for it. I know it's been 4 years since the last album, so that's probably why people ask, is there ever going to be another? And I always, luckily enough, get to say, yeah, there's a new album this week. So.
Yeah. You did the Cyberactive project with Bill Lieb. How do you guys like working with him?
That was a one-off thing. I know we won't do another. Yeah, we did that because so many people asked us, and we're still friends and everything like that. And but I tease him all the time about his music. He's someone that musically we, yeah. Well, I mean, there is some weirdness, but to do that album was pretty spur of the moment. We basically just went into the studio when we had some spare time a few years ago, and actually 3 years ago we did that, and really just sort of laid it to rest, sort of settled all the people that wrote, because we used to. Well, actually, we trained Bill. When he first started in music, he didn't really know how to play anything. He just had the interest level there and everything, but he didn't really know anything about electronics or keyboards or anything, so we showed him basically how to play a lot of different things. And then he fell by the wayside because he wasn't really in the touring mode.
How do you think that you would sound if he was still with you guys, or do you think that that's just something that absolutely wouldn't happen?
It just wouldn't have happened, really, because at the time, we really needed to be working in I really needed to be working in collaboration with somebody who I could jam with and who I could play with.
Yeah.
And the thing was that, I mean, we could have done it with Bill, but we chose to work with somebody. we chose to work with Dwayne after seeing him. He opened for us, God, back in '86, I think.
Who was he with then?
He was with just him and a girl in the group called Water, and he handled this big, gigantic keyboard setup and all these sequences and everything like that. And it was really good sound quality and everything like that. And instantaneously, right away, we were all like, "Wow, that's really good."
Yeah.
And it wasn't long after that Bill was given the option. Actually, we never really terminated him on his talent or anything. It's just we were up against a situation where we were about to go on a very long tour, and his girlfriend wasn't too happy about him going. So we told him that well, no problem there. We can get a replacement and stuff. So we did. We got Dwayne, and it turned out from that point on that we've been collaborating and writing and working together ever since, because there's this great sort of working energy there.
How close to the tour was that when that all came down?
2 months.
Oh, Jesus. Dwayne, I thought I read somewhere that he had been involved in a group called Psyche.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is that was that a two-man thing, or?
Yeah, well, it was a three-man thing. He was involved in the very first incarnation of that before they released records, because they have a lot of records out there too. But he wasn't involved in any of the records. He was involved in their beginning.
I see. Have you considered doing anything like working with a bunch of these people in the experimental and industrial scene, maybe hooking up with someone like Pigface or anything like that? Or is that
not at all? No, I mean, Pigface is doing that already. So I think that really, that really says it all. For me, my interest lies more in the electronic realm, and if I am going to do stuff that's like hardcore or acoustic oriented, it'll be with Hilt. I'm into working with friends, and I really, I really get a charge from working with a friend, and I think that that's what it's all about. I don't think I'd be working in Skinny Puppy with Ogre if it was based on friendship, because we haven't really been, like, I can't really see eye to eye to him all that much. He's always been on a different plateau than me. He's gone through his drug addiction, and he's basically, put the face of the band as the face of his lyrics and his turmoil and troubles, when in actuality there's a really wide variety of opinion going on in this group,
Yeah.
Like, I haven't gone through what he's gone through, and to tell you the truth, his lyrics are very personal to him, and I like them and everything, but they really don't have any bearing on me. So I like the situation the way it is now. I think it's a comfortable working atmosphere, but to try and say to get together with even more people and then start something, it would just remind me of this sort of situation which happened in Rabies, which was sort of like, we did have a situation where we had a regular working process, but Rabies, the album came around with Al Jorgensen and everything. We just sort of put most of our production techniques and recording techniques aside and just sort of had a big sort of like party, and I didn't really finish it the way I would have liked to, but
How did you guys like working with Jorgensen?
Al was a good guy, but Al was a pretty sort of a little conniving too, and that he threw a few bolts into the system by means of mental sort of brainwashing, a little bit of brainwashing. I think he instilled some sort of negativity into the project as well. But all in all, it doesn't really matter to me. And I haven't really, the biggest amount of interest to worry about, how it is, because it's all over with for that sort of situation. The Rabies album, it's a few albums ago, so no big deal.